Three, two, one. Welcome back, guys, to the Onetribe Podcast. What's going on, guys? Happy weekend. Happy weekend. Nice and early. I've just finished the meeting. It is the weekend for us in Dubai. It's Saturday, day off. And yeah, I've just finished the meeting, as I said. So I just want to jump on. I've got no guest until next week for the guest series. So I'm just going to go this one alone. I just wanted to throw a podcast out and basically talk about a post that I posted maybe 4 weeks ago about fuck you energy. And, you know, what does fuck you energy mean? And I got a heap of replies regarding that post and people going, I needed this. I needed to see that when I posted it. And basically, you know, it was a post saying I thrive off fuck you energy. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I thrive off fuck you energy where when I say it or when I feel it is that I sort of live my existence in a way when my back's against the wall and people sort of don't believe in me or maybe want to have a laugh at something an idea I've got or, you know, something that I may have coming up that they won't believe in it and don't think it will succeed. And I'm basically thinking, well, fuck you, you watch, you know what I mean? So when I put this post out on Instagram on my page, I had a heap of people DM me and say, man, that was such a cool thing, you know? And one message in particular of one of my best mates from Sydney, he messaged me and said, bro, you know, I've always thought this to be a negative way to look at things, but that's the way I live as well. And I said, bro, it's not negative at all. It's what gets you up and drives you in the morning. And when, you know, you don't always have to live by what you read and what other people are, you know, people are different and motivated in different ways and move in different ways. So for me, it's always been about, you know, getting up, proving first and foremost to myself that, you know, I'm good at what I do, or whatever the task is at hand, I'm going to give it 100%. And, you know, I've always been taught from a young age, even, you know, from my dad, was to go out, do your best. And that's all you can give. If you're out there doing your best, that's all you can do. You know what I mean? Whether it be I don't know, a footy game or business deal or whatever, if you've gone in prepared and you've done your very best and you can leave it on the table per se, then you can't do any more as a human, right? And whatever the outcome will be, you know, what will be. So yeah, my response to my mate and everyone else who messaged me about the fuck you energy was, don't feel bad for getting up and trying to prove to yourself, but prove to others that you are good, or you are, you know, grafting for whatever the outcome is. Because if that's what drives you to get up, mate, you're better than most, because some people don't have any motivation to get up and be better. You know what I mean? So the whole concept of that fuck you energy was exactly that. And that's how, you know, after 15 years of living here in Dubai, I live a life where it's very standalone. You know, I'll just be driving or I'll be in bed and an idea will come to me, like, you know, let's say it's a merch drop for Streetwise, and, you know, people laugh and go, who's going to buy your clothes, bro? Like, why are they going to want to buy your t-shirts or whatever? And they've got a point. Why the fuck are they going to want to buy my t-shirts? But I make them because I like the process of it, the design and the creative process of it. But at the same time, I take it as a challenge. I want to big up my company. I want to big up my brand. I am my brand. I live it, breathe it. You know what I mean? I don't work for somebody else. I work for myself, and my brand is everything. You know what I mean? So, I want to see those shirts on people. So it's about building a hype. If it's a t-shirt with a brand this big on it, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's nothing flash, but it's the hype that you build that people want to buy into it. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's a cotton t-shirt with a print, but it's the hype you build as I said, for them to buy into it and want to be a part of something, you know? So I really feel like people in 2021 or in this day and age are criticized for having a go. And that's fucking shit. When was it cool, or when was it not cool to give something a try and fail at it? You know what I mean? Like, so many people want to not put their hat in the ring because they're scared of failure. You know what I mean? That's okay. I get that. That's one thing. But then when people have a go at something or launch a business or have an idea, or people are also quick to shit on it and go, it's not going to work. I'm like, well, who the fuck are you to tell me it's not going to work when you have not tried it, live it, or even done anything like remotely close to what I may be wanting to do? So how are you going to tell me it's not going to work? And I believe the most dangerous person in a room is the most hungry and passionate. You need to have passion about what you're doing and what you're pushing. I meet a lot of people every week about, in the training space, in the personal training space. They're doing the job. Listen, by any means, it's an easy job. It's a hard slog. I get that. But at the same time, if you have no passion for what you do, you're not going to be successful, and people can see that. People say, it's the run of the mill. He's just going day by day and just turning up, you know what I mean? Bare minimum. But you have to have passion. You have to live it, breathe it. And I've been criticized in the past about, why don't you take a day off or do this and do that? And I get it. Like, it's not a healthy lifestyle as well, working every day and pushing, to the barriers of like exhaustion every day. It's not what we're trying to do. Like the training part of my life keeps me sane. I enjoy training. It's my hobby. It's my, I love it. The business side of my life is what is tiring, but the business side of my life is what gets me up in the morning. I get up and I live for it. You know what I mean? And again, it's not, this entrepreneur side of life is not for everybody. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was until the word started to get thrown around 5 or 6 years ago with guys like Gary Vee and stuff, like really putting it to the forefront. I just thought this was living. This is what you do. You're a hustler, I guess, in some sense, but you do what you can to get money in the bank to live. Simple, you know what I mean? And that's what I was doing. Like, so now in 2021, people are forced to think a little bit harder about that whole scheme because they're going to get judged for what they do. I want to do personal training because I really think I can do it, but I don't want people to think that I'm just jumping on the bandwagon. Fuck what people think. Just get on the wagon, start, because that's how you get your foot in the door. Like, I have so many people overthink businesses or like small things they want to start up or startups. Just do it. Like, you don't need capital. You don't need an investor to start a business. An idea can be created on paper. And then from that, with the digital space, with social media and stuff like that at our fingertips, you can literally launch a business and get people's vibe on that business just off social media. And like, that's how you can engage before you've even spent a cent. You know what I mean? I did that with my boot camps. I ran a boot camp for 2 months in Dubai without any people. And you're going to go, how did that happen? I did that because I was advertising and literally lifting Google image photos from boot camps around the world and pretending that they were on our beaches here in Dubai. People didn't know the difference. People were saying, yeah, I think I've seen your camps down at Jumeirah Beach. And I'm like, yeah. Like, for 2 months I was lying, like saying, yeah, that's us. Until the first 3 or 4 people started to join, like actual people coming to the camps. And that's when I was like, oh shit, okay, now we've got to start implementing, the training side of it. So I lived a life for the first 2 months, because of I could. And that was purely on MySpace back in the day, that platform. Sort of Facebook was integrated at the time. I was sort of using that, but more so like personal ad spaces like Debizzle. If you don't live in Dubai, it's like a free advertising space. You can put up ads and sell shit on there, like a trading post site type setup. So like, that's what I was doing. And so, as I said, I think people overthink the whole business side of launching, starting up, because they don't want to be judged or, mate, fuck all that. I see people share every day Pinterest quotes and, live for your happiness. Don't let anyone dictate your happiness. But everybody is doing that. So like when you're on the other side of the fence and you're a little bit carefree and you've got no fucks given sort of thing, and people go, well, ugh, like I don't like his attitude. It's a bit cocky, or she's a bit cocky, mate. That's okay as well, because look after you first, look after what's in here first, and then move on, because none of these people are paying your bills. None of these people are, putting food on your table. It's you that's at the ultimate end of the day that's going to be doing that. So, for the whole part of it, that whole fuck you energy quote that I put up was basically just saying that, that's what I live for. I live off it. I love to be doubted. I love to have my back against the wall. It's almost, I've lived this life for so long now, is that when things are going smooth, I get a bit panicky. I get a bit frazzled, because I'm like, what the fuck is going to happen that throws a spanner in the works? And because if I'm just too calm for too long and things are going in the right direction, I start just to buzz out, because and that's, it's a credit to the hard work and the graft that people do that to make those things, those smooth lines and transitions happen. But like I said, it's a thing where it makes you think, okay, something's going to happen soon, because my life's so used to being here, there, everywhere, back against the wall, do this, do that, get the money, like that. That's how I've lived. So it's a bit of an adjustment when things go smoothly. Like you're always like, oh, I need something to sort of, frazzle me up a little bit so I can go back to me being that grafter. But yeah, it's a weird one, man. It's a weird one. But I just wanted to touch on that on this beautiful Saturday morning in Dubai. Just, to finish it up, it's only going to be a short one today. Don't overthink. Don't over analyze. People are always going to make judgment. Always. Doesn't matter if you're doing good. People don't want you to here's the thing about this whole space, is that people, when you sort of start something up, they're like, yeah. That's awesome. We'll support it. And they may support it for a little bit, but when people realize that, oh, he or she is doing fairly well for a startup, they start to pull away, because, I don't know what it is about the human existence. People don't like to sometimes see people do well. They like to see them here, but when they start going up here and reaching new heights, they're like, oh, that person's changed. That person hasn't changed. Maybe their work ethics changed, or their vision and focus has changed, because they're trying to grow something for their future, or, whatever the goal is. It's everyone around them that changes. And you can't expect, I will tell you right now, don't expect the people around you to support you all the time, because that's not how this life works. You know what I mean? I've had to deal with it in the past, because it's something it gets you down. I'm a very, I'm a boy's boy. I'm a bloke's bloke, in terms of, I love to see the boys happy, or friends in general, girls, guys happy around me when I'm around them. I like to be that presence in the room that is always making people feel sort of good about themselves. And then sometimes, like when you're looking for support around you, you can't find it. And I guess I've had, in the last 5 or 6 years, I've had to sort of look at that and go, well, not everyone's built like yourself, or people like of this manner. I guess and especially with social media now, I guess that's even worse, where you think, well, how hard is it to share a post, or how hard is it to just, that knock-on effect of sharing and reposting and stuff like that? It's not hard. It's a click of the fingers, because you see the same groups of people like someone famous, or a famous actor, or share a famous bloody sportsman's quote, but they won't do that to a personal friend who's trying to build a profile, a name, a company. And you're like, well, I'm doing the same thing. I might not have the money or the followers or the levels that these people are at, but I'm trying. So you've got to strip it back and go, sometimes, well, don't take it to heart. It's not, it's not people. It's just the way sometimes life is, you know what I mean? So you go in and out of this as a business owner, entrepreneur, if you want to call it that. And you're like, I wish I had more support, but then sometimes you're like, whatever, like this is why I am in this space. Otherwise I'd be working for somebody, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you've got to battle that sometimes, and it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling, but at the same time, you got to just, wind it back in and realize it's not the people. It's just the way some people are built. Don't take offense to it. That's what I'm trying to say. So it takes a while to grasp that, but yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll just wanted to add that because I've been wanting to talk about that post for a couple of weeks. Just haven't had time to jump on a podcast, but so here it is. And yeah, do you make moves? Don't worry about what people think. Another one, just before I wrap up, is try your hardest to surround yourself around people, like-minded people you can bounce ideas off, become creative. A lot of shit that I do in my head, I may think that, awesome business idea, but then I sit and speak to someone who's at a good level and has been there and done that, made the mistakes. They're like, bro, maybe don't do it this way, do it this way. And it pivots, it adjusts. And I'm like, oh, wow, actually, you're right. That sounds a better way to do it, because I'm still learning this. It's not something that you ever master. You know what I mean? So yeah, try to find those people. It's hard. Some people don't want to give up their secrets. They want to have their success for themselves. But at the same time, just have conversations. Conversations are good. Ask questions. I'm a big believer in that. I've got to do it more. I need to sit with people a lot more, apart from, the podcast, and ask questions. You can only get better and figure things out when questions are asked. You know what I mean? You can only get answers that way. So yeah, that's my advice. That is the whole fuck you energy theory from me. That's sort of how I live. And yeah, I hope you got something out of it. Thanks to everyone who sort of messaged me about that. And thanks to everyone who's just supports and followers online and stuff. And, just a small fella from Sydney trying to make moves, you know what I mean? So I'm a big believer if, one person wins, the rest wins, team effort sort of thing. And, that's where I'm trying to go with this stuff. So, yep. Thanks for tuning in, the Onetribe Podcast. Tune in next week. Actually, this coming week, I'm going to have a special guest, Mr. Rolly Fogum, Lambert Fogum, for people who know him around Dubai. I think everybody bloody knows him. He just won himself an African WBO world title, cruiserweight title. He's a boxer, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Got to be straight up, most mysterious man in the game for me. I've known the guy a long time and still don't know much about him. But it's going to be a very open and interesting podcast for someone who is one of the real ones, in my opinion. And talk about the whole fuck you energy. This guy is exactly that, you know what I mean? So that's a good segue into next week's podcast. Tune in. It'll be on iTunes, Spotify, and obviously YouTube on the channel. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope all is well. Happy weekend, and let's have a massive week. The Onetribe Podcast. Coach Naka over and out. Let's go.